we have our next match. It is another round of 128. It's Vines versus Darkomen.
We're going to kick things off once again on Cloud Kingdom. Over in the top right corner, a recent recruit to Team Empire. It is Vines, formerly from OGS, now playing in the top right corner. And he's up against this blue Zerg in the bottom left. It is Darkomen. Now, I don't know too much about Darkomen at all. In fact, I don't know anything really about Darkomen. So if you guys could enlighten, maybe discuss a little bit about what Darkomen is. Andre, do you know anything about this player?
I don't. I think... No, I don't know anything.
No, that's kind of cool. That's kind of like the benefit you get because you're...
No, please. I'm sorry,
oh.
go ahead. This has been like this for way too long.
This is what I would imagine like to have a very overprotective boss where everyone's just following one drone. Darkomen a little bit slipping up there. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the beauty of the qualifier. Anyone can enter. So anyone has an opportunity to really prove their skills, or in this case, really have all their work as valued to one drone.
We can definitely say that Vines, just his name, gives it enough that everybody thinks that Vine's going to win. I mean, he's the clear favorite going into this. Just because he's just such a well-esteemed player. Even top pros that are very well known have such a tough time with Vines. So it kind of begs that question, does Darkomen have what it takes to actually keep up with him? We're going to see in a little bit, but you can definitely tell right off the bat that Darkomen does not mineral boost. Because if he was mineral boosting, he would have seen that. He would have definitely seen that, but it's unfortunate.
It's the mineral boost because the drones are pushing that other drone closer. It's like,
helping
him support. They all support that one drone to mine as much as they can. And of course, the probe now sees the Zerglings running out here, trying to deal with that pile. So he can eventually expand, but regardless of what happened, Darkomen has, I guess he's just really far behind in terms of getting his expansion timing down.
Yep, this should obviously be cleared up. He puts down the hatchery immediately. And I'm sure we're going to see something like a Stefano-style build. Just because there's no gases up on the main. So that's just a very clear indicator.
From this point on, Vines can just continue on as normally. He has everything pretty much in set. He's got a cannon up as well. And Cloud Kingdom, one of those maps where two base pushes are really nice. You can set up really easily. Vines is a player that actually, when he was going for #1 rank on ladder, when he was doing this huge grind, he was streaming non-stop every day, trying to go for #1 GM. He was doing a lot of these really sick two-base timings back when immortal pushes were very, very popular. So he is capable of that. But we've actually been seeing over the past couple of weeks some other dimensions of play from Vines, maybe a fast third base. Well, we're talking about like the 7-minute mark where he takes a really quick third base and then play heavy macro, go for that 200 push or that 3 base, almost 200 push, and just kill Zerg pre-hive. So Vines is a very deadly player because he can play both styles very solidly.
Yeah, and that's something that's really important to note because a lot of these players just, you know, I can think of a couple of Protoss, even at the Grandmaster level, that really relegate themselves to two bases, a lot of two bases. And when you actually put yourself into that position where your opponent kind of knows it's going to be very two-base aggression, even if you go into macro play, you have, you know, maybe 1/10 of the time practiced with macro games than you do with some sort of all-in, then it could be really easy to actually counter you. You just, you know, obviously mass off a 3 base if you're Zerg, and then you win the game no matter what, just because you could defend any all-ins and you're okay. But Vine showing that he has a lot of, I guess, range. He can play those macro styles, and he can be very abusive with his macro styles. Get that early 7-minute Nexus timing. That shows that you know, he just has a lot in him. He can play at that top level.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now you can see that Darkomen has everything up pretty standard as well, starting to finally gas up and get his Roach Spawn at a pretty comfortable time. Now, what do you think about the Roach style? Because we see right now all the signs from Darkomen to start off very Roach-centric, but he's also incorporating link speed as well. So a Roach link composition. Do you like that on Cloud Kingdom, Andre?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I mean, a lot of players have been switching over to Zerglings, and you get a couple of Spine Crawlers, but the problem with Cloud Kingdom, of course, the natural can be attacked over here, and this is a pretty narrow position, so you don't really want to have all your Zerglings running in there. So I think Zergling Roach on Cloud Kingdom is pretty forced. You have to do something like that. We're going to see that Vines is getting ready for this 4-gate, but it should be blocked. There's a lot of Zerglings out in the field already, or at least in production. And I don't think it should do that much damage, but we'll see.
Yeah, you can see Vines immediately seeing the third saturation is considerably low. Actually, only 40 drones at the moment. That's because there's 27 Zerglings in anticipation for this rush. The Overlord sees everything. In fact, Darkomen sent 2 Overlords to confirm everything inside the main base in case the first one got picked off. And now Vines is advancing forward with 4 Zealots and a Stalker, but he's got so many Zerglings. The Zergling speed is a long way from finishing, but it doesn't matter if you get the surround on everything. Vines is a little bit of a miss micro here, but barely loses the Stalker. He's going to clean up a lot of things because he does have that +1 on the Zealots, cleaning up the Zerglings so quickly.
Yeah, you need to incorporate another Queen in here if you actually want to defend solely with Zerglings. Now Roaches are going to be on the way, but it's a little bit too late. Vines, somehow or another, is going to manage to actually have this success. I did want to mention before that it felt like Omen was just like a single inject behind. He should have had maybe 5 or 6 more drones, in my opinion, but now, oh my gosh, he's sending all of his drones. This is most certainly going to be the end. I mean, okay, he's not incorporating his drones in there, but still, this is putting him so far behind, and now the Roaches pop up, they die. Vines is just...
It was one of those awkward moments where like the drones are like, just want to get some minerals, and they're trying to mess up the Zealot AI. Oh man, it's just one of those moments where you're like, man, I really want to optimize my mining, but I don't have a hatchery there anymore. And now, at this point, Vines just controls so much of the map. He's forced so many units, and even the units he's forced, he's killed. Darkomen is only on 2 hatcheries, and his tech's a little bit underdeveloped because he's racked up so much gas. He could have been investing directly into upgrades, but he was trying to micro a lot. And where do you go from here? Vines now has Immortals out. He's gotten an incredible amount of sentries. He's walled off that natural ramp. And I don't know what Darkomen can really do except play from very far behind.
Yeah, when you're playing up against Vines, I mean, what openings do you really have? Especially on Cloud Kingdom, you can see he's blocked off this entrance already. And there's no advantage for Darkomen. Like, he has nothing. He's actually supply capped as we speak and still hasn't gotten a single Overlord to actually alleviate that. And with the Sentry count, with the Immortal count, that basically nullifies any form of Zergling Roach count. He's switching over to Spire. I don't mind that at all,
That's actually really a lot of Zergs answer to Sentry Immortal because their lack of mobility is what really hurts them.
Yes. And I would actually love this Spire to actually be placed maybe even over here, just hidden completely. And he is also double expanding. So actually, Darkomen is doing the tools necessary to get back into this game. You know, playing very, very risky, but just this slight pressure. When Protoss leans on you, you're not going to be able to really defend this pretty accurately. And just 3 Zealots should be able to clean up this one hatchery, as no units are out really on the field to deal with it.
Is it? Oh no, he's hatchery. No, he forced the cancel. I think the hatchery would have been okay, but he doesn't want it to start off at that low health. And I apologize. My replay's a little bit far ahead.
And from here, Vines, I mean, look at this army. It's so scary. But if he can get those mutas out, he will still be pretty far behind. But it'll help, you know. If Vines actually chooses to play super passive and he gives the Zerg a lot more time than he needs to, then yes, he will be behind because he's at 8 gas to 6 gas. Obviously, that helps out so much to have more gas than your opponent.
It does. Always a good situation.
To have more than your opponent.
Yes, I think I would love that opportunity, Andre, to have more resources than my opponents, especially if I'm going for a gas-heavy build.
Well, Frodan, that's why they hired me here at the NASL.
I'm just trolling you, Andre. I'm sorry.
No, they hired me because 1 is more than 2.
That is true.
Actually, it's not. 2 is more than 1.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
I mind gamed you right there.
I'm just so used to agreeing with you, Andre, that I was just trying to ignore your point and immediately focus on this Warp Prism that's going to warp in DTs really soon. A Dark Templar Shrine is up. And 5 DTs, no 6. 6 is a good number. 5 actually is how many you need to snipe a lair before an Overseer finishes. Fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
But you can see that Vines is now going to split up his DTs, 3 in the main, 3 at the third.
And there are no Overseers.
There are no Overseers. There are no Spores. And he's going to immediately just target down these Roaches. And now there's just going to be massive damage. 2 Overseers are in production, but if Vines does this very cleverly, he can do the damage and get out with minimal losses.
Yeah, meters are over here, obviously helping out. The lair is being targeted down. There is an Overseer right around the corner. Oh my god, the lair! The lair! For the love of God, no! It's gonna be taken out.
No, just barely as well. That last Dark Templar is able to push it in. Now Vine sees an opening. He's just gonna leave that 4th base completely up because the 3rd's already been dealt with. Now Vines is too busy losing units here and there. Even if he does, the Dark Templars add enough DPS to soften the roaches so that the mortals can pretty much one-shot. There are 4 mortals, and there are only 3 roaches. That is an overwhelming advantage, and Darkomen, once again, those drones, long-distance mining, GG.
I think we can all agree that those Immortals really did it for him that game, and those are the units to really focus on. For the most part, I mean, I think Vines smashed his opponent.
Yes.
For the most
and to be fair, it was just because Vines was throwing Darkomen off here and there, just causing disruption nonstop. And that's just kind of the poise of a good player. Just saying, I know how to completely make my opponent fumble everything. And it just felt like at one point, Darkomen never got a full grasp on his basic economy.
Yeah, and we can kind of attribute that to the very overt difference in skill. I think we can say that Vine's definitely one of the top players in the world, and Darkomen we really haven't heard of. And that's kind of what you get sometimes at the higher stages of open qualifiers. Yeah. Any opens, that's going to happen.
That's right. You never know who you match up against. Exactly. The brackets were randomized.
Imagine you're Darkomen, you're like, oh, who do I have next? Empire Vines. Who's that guy?
It's like, oh, he's only #1 ranked GM on like every single server.
So sick, man. So sick.